3. Okay, we've done so many episodes on Wayne's World and Kelly. I don't even remember what episode it is. It might be 46. I could be wrong. It might be 47.
I think it's 48. I think it's 48.
I'm not going to turn around and look at my calendar, but this is great because we have 2 inspiring, great guys that are not only friends, but we do a lot of business together. And full disclosure, John Marks is one of my best friends, as is Wayne, and I'm kind of friends with Henry. And Henry was my boss when I first moved to Florida. So all the disclosures are out. Wayne, you're looking great. Looks like you've been those teeth whiteners that Crest is sponsoring us with now is working great. So I got to get everybody else to do that. But
thank you.
But we always, John keeps going, hey, why don't you have us on the show? And Henry's like sending me texts, Kelly, can we get on the show? I was waiting for hurricane season. Congratulations, it's hurricane season in Florida. How do you guys feel about that? And
excited.
Actually, our goal always is for it not to happen. We want the season to be non-existent, right?
No, we don't. No, we don't. No,
I'm sorry. Wayne actually likes it for business. But Henry, go ahead and tell us why it isn't good. It was so great for business for you.
Well, that's a loaded question. It is good for business for sure, but I wouldn't, I like my everyday business. I like taking care of my customers and I like meeting their expectations. And when a hurricane comes, we just can't do that. And that it just kills me. You can't get to every single customer. So it's a tough thing. And inevitably you're going to have people who are, hurt because you didn't get to them. They've been feeding you business for all year and all of a sudden a hurricane, how can we get to everybody? So that's why I don't like them. Yes, financially it's nice, but I like my peace of mind and I like my customers to always be happy. So that's why I'm not a big fan of hurricanes.
See, I knew that was going to be his answer, even though we didn't have any discussion of that, because back in my days in water damage, it was everyone would give, oh, I bet you're really excited when something like that happens. And you really aren't, because like Henry said, you want to satisfy everybody and it's just impossible. No matter how much equipment, how many people you have ready, you just can't do it. But it also shows how Henry likes how he thinks about business. He's thinking, I do want to take care of all my clients. John, we had an event. What was it, back in April? And
which event?
That when Fort Lauderdale just got
the storm. Yes. That was actually my first experience with WRG through a major event like that. I came on after Irma hit in 2017. So that storm that hovered over Fort Lauderdale, Hallandale, Hollywood area for the better part of 3 hours was my first real experience in a flood like that, in a storm like that. So it was quite eye-opening. You saw our production team at work. My phone was ringing off the hook. You saw really all of the preparation that we put into our business on a day-to-day basis, how it paid off during the course of those 3-4 hours and the days after to make sure our customers were happy.
Now, I do have to do something that I don't normally have to do. We do have viewers that are under the age of 40. John just made a reference of the phone ringing off the hook. Back when John was middle-aged, phones actually were on a hook. And so that's why the term ringing off the hook exists.
Yeah,
but
my bad.
Can you see, people like Erica going, I don't get it. What does he mean off the hook? So now, because they all say off the chain.
Yeah, true.
Now,
at least I didn't bring up beepers or fax machines. So
beepers. I think they call them pagers.
Yeah.
See, now I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna get phone calls and texts and emails going, What's a beeper? Thanks for making my day busy with the young people. So Henry, what's your background? I mean, of course I know the answers, but I think it's a neat transition. You were born in Colombia. You traveled around the world.
Yeah,
you went to American University. I'm going to see how many times I can interrupt them.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
No, I was doing it to you. That was my fault. You went to American University, and then you said, I want to make Miami my home. And what were you doing when you moved to Miami?
When I moved to Miami, I was actually working for State Farm Insurance, and I was based out of Gainesville.
Oh, wow.
Florida. Yeah.
Up yonder.
Yep. That's where I graduated from university, and I stayed there and working for State Farm Insurance, and then I decided to move down to Miami because I had a bunch of friends down here, and I didn't need to be in Gainesville because I was a catastrophe adjuster. So it's just whenever the beeper would go off, I had to go somewhere in the country.
And what was your golf handicap back then?
I think I've stayed at a 1 steady for the past few years, but I don't really think, that's what the books say, but I'm really like a 6 or 7.
Oh, gee, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't believe you and John have never golfed together. Why
No, we
is that?
haven't.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it because you don't want to beat him so bad?
Does John have time to golf?
You kind of golf.
It's part of my responsibilities, big guy. You know that.
Sean Glenn of Universal Engineering, a friend of John's, Bill, and then John and I went golfing recently. And John, what was the outcome of that match play?
You mean when I birdied the 18th hole?
Yeah, no. Yeah, what did that? So then we only end up beating you by 7 holes.
No comment.
How are the teams picked?
Kelly picked them. Kelly picked the teams, and not only picked the teams, picked the format as we were about ready to tee off the first hole. So, I think he kind of set us up.
Someone's got to take control. So okay. Now back to business. So, Henry, how was the transitioning from State Farm to water damage restoration? How does that help you, help your team, and most importantly, help your clients?
I think it helped me because obviously I know the insurance policies inside and out. I know what adjusters are looking for. I know what they want to see when one of these jobs is done. So that's how it helped that way, to provide a quality file for the adjuster for it to be easier for them to review and for the client to get paid. And just, in general, that's pretty much the help it has been. And obviously back then I thought that by doing this transition and with all my insurance contacts, I could get the business started easily. But you know how that is. When you start your own business, you think, oh yeah, these people are going to call me, but it's not really the case. You got to go and find your own business. So
it's like when people go out and get their real estate license. And I'd like to say that I think Wayne and I are 2 of the only people in the state of Florida that don't have the real estate license.
I'm the third.
And John said the next time he's going to pass that test. He's been trying. Actually, so we're 4 guys. It is amazing, especially like when you go on LinkedIn and you see so many people have real estate license. It just cracks me up.
Yep.
I feel like I'm not truly a Floridian until I get my real estate license. So I'm thinking about getting it in the fall. So another thing we always like to talk about is work-life balance, because you have 2 adorable kids who are probably getting older now, aren't they? They're like every year.
Yeah, 9 and 11.
Wow, 9 and 11. Wow.
Yeah.
Who is their favorite Donald Duck impersonator?
Kelly Coon.
It was great. They used to come running looking for me because they wanted to hear me do my Donald, which was cool. But
Kelly has a tendency to whip that impression out at the most impromptu times. When he was training me, we were going up and down the Gold Ocean Mile, and I didn't know him. So we're going into property after property, and every other property, he's whipping out the Donald Duck on the security guard to try and get through the door.
And how did it work?
It did. If nothing else, he got a laugh out of him. They remembered him the next time he came around. So, so that Donald Duck impression, got a lot of mileage out of that one.
So are you using it, John?
No, not quite. I use my George Bush impression.
Yeah. All right. Who's coming in? George Bush. America hears you. I think he looks a lot like him. What do you think, Wayne? Wayne's been awfully chatty today.
I definitely think John gets that. I wanted to make just like a comment about the hurricane. So I'm I'm doing a lot of field work in Sarasota all week on a really big claim that we have. But today I'm taking a break. I'm actually on a hurricane panel in Newport Richey. I'm actually in the Wawa convenience store. I'm going to be at an event that I'll put up on LinkedIn, but we're going to discuss a lot about the SIRS bill, just about a lot of things that, you know, that are going to be relevant in our industry moving forward. And I'm going to give the contractor's point of view. And I know there's a lot of panels that always appear on LinkedIn, and, you know, people get together and share information with community association managers and everything. But there's a lot of changes out there that everybody that is listening to this, that is in any kind of industry that we're in or any, you know, affiliated with it, to know that there's changes that are happening, and they're big, and they're going to really handcuff a lot of contractors and people that do what I do and people that do what you folks do. So I know you're all aware of it. Continue to educate and tell people about it, because it's a game changer, and it's really not favorable to the contractors. So
the reason Wayne's saying that is because you know what next month is, right? It's Shark Month. So
yeah, yep.
Every week, every Wednesday, we're dropping a new show with a different top attorney in Florida that will be going over a lot of that stuff. So everybody will want to tune in. So
it's good stuff to know. Everybody likes free legal advice. That's a really good way. Like, you know, I can't give a free roof, and you guys can't give free burst pipes, you know, but these attorneys, man, wherever they go, they give free legal advice, and everybody comes. It's great. It's a great marketing tool, and it works, man.
Sure.
yeah, can't give away free burst pipes, but boy, I wish you could. You know, right?
Where do we sign up?
Yeah.
When I was in the DC market doing water damage restoration for my friends Greg and Packy's company, A1 Flood Tech. Hey guys, I like to do a shout out. And I usually like to mention Dawn Miller at some point in the show, who's the paving lady. But when I was up there, every once in a while I would drive by a building, and within the next few days, I'd get a phone call and the building flooded. So of course I was looking at all the buildings after that happened a few times, but
yeah, absolutely. That's powerful.
Henry or John, have you ever been in a building like I have been and actually have a flood occurring right when you're there?
Yes.
No way, dude.
It's awkward. I walked into a building in Bethesda, Maryland, and the alarm's going off, and they're like, "How'd you get here so quick?" I mean, literally, it started like 2 minutes before, and then I'm like going, you know, check me for a ball peen hammer. I don't have one on me.
Right.
But yeah. It's going to happen. Henry's got a big business development team out there, you know, and they're out meeting people and talking to people all the time. It's going to happen, and it's a little bit awkward the first time it happens. Have you had that happen yet, John?
You run into you go to enough properties over the course of a day or a week, a month, and you're going to run into something. And you know, in our business, a lot of it's a numbers game. So yeah, there was a property downtown Fort Lauderdale I went into, and chief engineer wasn't available, property manager wasn't available, left my card. As I was walking out the door towards my car, actually close towards my car, but I got a phone call from the chief engineer. He's like, "You still here?" And sure enough, we got a big job out of that. And over the course of next year, we got several jobs out of that. So, you know, if I've learned one thing from this business, it's a numbers game. A lot of the success in what we do.
Right. And the big thing is also delivering after that, which y'all got a great reputation for that. I tell you, I was getting tickets for a client one time. Well, Henry's getting really, Henry has the fancy office where if there's no movement, the lights go off. So just to explain to the viewers why he was just going like this. That's kind of cool. But I went to buy tickets for a client because, you know, if you ever want anything, hit these guys up, because they've got concert tickets, sporting tickets. They'll take you anywhere you want to go, just to have fun, because these guys like to have fun. So I was buying a client tickets, and I'm at a gas station, and I look over at it's a small apartment building. It's like 6 stories, and the bottom floor, which is very common around here, is where people park. So it's open, and I see water coming through the brick. Packy Orndorff, who I mentioned earlier, he had a video of it coming out of the side of a building, water, which nobody ever wants to see except for guys like us. And I'm like, this is awesome. You know, so I went over there, and they actually had called another company, but I had my people there first, so we ended up taking care of the job. And then one time, coming down an escalator, up at the Marriott in Baltimore. When I got there, it took me like over an hour to get there. There was still water cascading down the escalator. We're the only ones that are going to be able to appreciate the beautiful sight of that.
Disaster porn. Yep.
And why it was great was because y'all can take care of it, right? It's not because you see the damage, it's because you can bring it back like it never happened.
Yeah, but when it happened to me, I don't know if that was the case. This is when I first started, so it was I don't know. I had 3 guys working for me, and back then, as you know, Kelly, I was a service master. This was 2009. So 3 guys working for me, and we're a service master, and it's a franchise. So we get a call for this humongous flood, and I know they called the wrong franchise, right? I know they weren't trying to reach me, but I said, "Screw it, let's go." So we went there, and this was 50 stories. It was a flood of 50 stories, and it's me and 3 guys. So obviously, I had to call in for help.
Right.
But that's how it all started for me, because back before then, I was just chasing houses, But when I saw this thing, I was like, "Well, what am I doing chasing houses?" So that's when we started, actually going after, going into CAI and visiting the condos and got into the condo world. But that flood, man, it was cascading over the balconies. It was crazy.
It's amazing.
Stories. Yeah, it's crazy what water can do,
Yeah, you just never know and you do feel bad for the people that live there. For me, I liked when commercial buildings flooded as opposed to residential, just because I do have a heart, but I also would see, wow, this is going to be great business, and y'all are part of DKI, which Greg Orndorff Sr., who passed away last year at a ripe old age of his 88 or something. He was actually one of the founding members of DKI. So if it does get too big, which sometimes it does occur, you have another lifeline, right? Tell us a little bit about DKI.
Yeah, so DKI is just a network of restoration companies that have to be a certain size and meet certain criteria. And so basically, we run out of resources here locally. We can count on people coming in from out of town to help. That's the whole purpose of it. So if a hurricane hits, you know how fast we run out of equipment, right? Because I don't know, were you here, Kelly? Was it Irma?
I actually came here a week after, just on vacation, and I'm like, wow, this place usually looks nicer. But
Gotcha.
but then I also had a little envy of from my past. But no, so I was down in New Orleans for the big flood. I did Nashville, with my old company. So I've definitely experienced those. And matter of fact, when the first one happened in New Orleans, our old company, A1 Flood Tech, we had a diesel Ford pickup truck with a diesel tank on the back, and they commandeered the what do they call those guys? The guys in the military for the state, the Guard,
National Guard
for Louisiana, commandeered our diesel truck. And then we ended up getting it back later, without any diesel in this huge tank that we used to carry for all of our equipment. That was a little unique. That was not something that was like, wait a second, we're here to, and we were there to make money. But one of the things we did when we would chase hurricanes, we were very fair. We did not come and just destroy people, which, that's something that people that live here, when big events like happen, make sure who you're dealing with. That's, someone like a reputable company like WRG. Because they have their own mouse pads.
Yeah, and in storm situations, you're always going to have the sharks, right? They're coming here to just coming here to leech onto you and for a few days, and then they leave, and that's it.
Yeah. And if you do have a problem, if you do make that mistake, you can always call Becker Law. So we always like to use some of our advertiser sponsors. So DKI sent me a check yesterday, so that's why I had to mention them. Just kidding. There are no sponsors of the show, even though y'all are a pretend sponsor, and we appreciate your pretend sponsorship since we launched. So, John, day to day, what's the most difficult thing for you to do in your job? I want to see if he admits how easy his job is. I'm putting him on the spot.
Day to day, the most difficult, my least favorite thing to do, and I think most of business development sales reps will say, is sitting in front of the computer. We'd rather be out there dealing with, the customers, trying to drum up business, going to events, networking. And not that it's difficult, but it can be tedious, but it's necessary. It's a necessary evil in our business because you need to stay on top of the contacts. You need to stay on top of your communications and just create that circle of, presence in our customers and potential customers' lives. So I don't say it's difficult, but it can be monotonous at times.
So Henry, let me ask you a question. On putting in your information for KPIs, how bad was I on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think we had KPIs when you were here, Gillis.
We did.
No,
we did.
Monica used to pull him aside constantly about his KPIs. I remember. And he would go out and do 100 visits in a week and then wait till the end of the month to do 500 entries into the computer.
But I met them all, and they could always verify it because they'd say, "What can Kelly do other than talk?" And they go, "Well, what languages can he speak?" And of course, one of them was Donald Duck. Oh my gosh! So how is it? With the kids, or is it, as an owner, is it difficult, or do you just push everything off onto John? And the rest of the team.
No. It's. I mean, at times it's difficult for sure, but I really try very hard, and I think I do it well. I do spend a lot of time with them, so I leave many days, early. But once they go to bed, then I get back on my phone or my computer to work, to brainstorm, to send emails, catch up on emails. So I find a way to do it. But to me, it's very important to spend time with the kids. So I make sure it happens. I really do.
Yeah, and you have good kids. If people have bad kids, I could see where you would ignore them, but your kids are pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Can I again just say something, Henry? You can tell the type of father Henry is, not just from seeing him around his kids, but seeing him around the company and how he treats his employees. And one of the things I've been impressed in my 4 years with WRG is how Henry's been able to instill that family atmosphere. And you hear that a lot, but it's true with WRG. And Henry, he's not only the founder of the company, the CEO, but he's a guy who pats everybody on the back, makes sure everybody's happy. And if there's a job out there, if there's something I need his help with, he needs to step in, he'll step in and make it right and make the customer, make sure they're satisfied. So, and I'm just,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm glad.
I think that's another first. We never had somebody smooth their boss on the show before, so that's
I knew you were going to say something about that, but I couldn't resist. And
what I wanted to do, but this is I'm behaving. Oh my gosh! So what was it? So Sean, Glenn, and I beat you all by 7 strokes. Is that what it was?
And I think we cut it in half on the last hole when I birdied 18. I think that shot, that 3 hybrid 2 feet from the cup.
So listen,
Nice.
So we're playing over at Deer Creek. Number 18 is a beautiful finishing hole. If you don't have a really good drive, it's really difficult to make it to the green on your second shot, and you have to go over a little stream, a pretty wide stream to do it. So I crushed my drive. It was one of my few good drives of the day. I'm looking way back at them, and I'm like, "Hey guys, you might want to lay up to the water and then go over." I shouldn't have taunted John, even though we'd beaten him so bad, it really didn't make that much of a difference. But for a moral victory, so he gets up there, pulls out his 3-wood. He's got Callaway's, which is one of the sponsors of the show, along with Rockin Wellness. We got Callaway. We got some great bunch of lure baits for your elevator consultant needs. So we got some great sponsors out. So he's out there with his number 3 Callaway. I recognize it because I got the exact same clubs, and he crushes it. And the next thing you know, we're so excited we forget we're competing against them because we've already beaten them so bad. And it bounces right in front of the sand trap, over the sand trap, rolls onto the green, and almost holes it for an eagle. It was incredible. And then you did make the putt, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, we did.
We did. You made the putt.
Yes.
You carried Bill on that hole. It was even after that terrible drive. I mean, it really was just an absolutely horrendous drive that y'all had, but you made.
About how you started, how you finished there, big guy.
That's right. I don't
Hey,
know.
look, did we talk
The
about any
buying.
of the other great shots that were made that day? No, this is the only one that got mentioned after
Well,
you lost by
Next
after you lost by
podcast.
7 strokes.
Okay.
Hey, we got to wrap it up. I know everyone's got work to do, but this was fun. Wayne, do you have any questions you want us to ask? Because you've been
No, I just want to tell you guys seriously how much I appreciate, the industry we're in the job that we all do is basically as first responders, people that are involved. I can't stress it enough of really the changes that are going on. I mean, we're all still reeling and building and doing so much work from Ian, and it's going to continue to get more challenging. So hats off to everybody here, man. I mean, we have hard jobs to do. We got to get new clients. We got to keep the clients. We got to take care of everybody, families. Just it's hard work what we do, but just showing up every day and letting everybody know that we care. I think is going to give them some peace of mind. That's why I'm really excited this afternoon to be part of this panel and tell everybody what the realities are in the market. So that's all I got. Appreciate all you guys.
the Wayne, the way you said it, it's true because a lot of people think, oh, all these businesses, all they care about is money, and we're
That's not true, man.
I'm dealing with companies every single day. I deal just as much with companies that we do business with as I do with clients that's my that I'm servicing or my team servicing.
Yep.
And so many companies, people hear one bad story of something that happened. So many companies, and I'd start lifting all examples, but I'd lose them. Henry's getting in there first thing. John's out there working his keister off. Everybody on the team's working to serve the clients. No one's out there saying, hey, how do I get over on my customers? And I think it's important for people to understand that, there's a small minority of people that we won't do business with, but and at LGC, we do vet all of our clients real time, all the participants on a project. But we see it, and we're behind the curtain. We see how hard people are working to deliver the best they can. It's not just hey, how much money can I make today? It's more about how much can I deliver to my clients. And hats off to you guys for doing all of you for doing what you do. And I think South Florida is a great place to come work. We have a great economy because and we're making things happen here. It's not like the rest of the country, but for people that are really qualified and want to work really hard, this is a great place to be. So I always like to do my recruiting announcement. Look at that. Let's make America Florida. I love it. Yeah.
That's my walk-off right there.
Yeah,
kid.
keep your governments back at your old states and come here where we're free to for business. On there, he's going to wave some more. So that's a sign. We better cut off, guys. Anything else, Henry, John, you want to say?
I want to thank you guys for having us on. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can be on here again and chat some more.
And if anybody wants to get in touch with him,
easy,
you can find him on LinkedIn. Henry Dow.
Thanks,
John.
guys. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Kelly.
Hey, thanks,
All right,
guys.
See you soon, Henry. Okay.
Y'all have a great
Okay.
day.